guys, this is Dan Seifer from MobileBurn.com, and right now I'm taking a quick look at the T-Mobile MyTouch 4G Slide. It's the latest version of the MyTouch series of phones, and this one features a slide-out keyboard, as you can tell by the name. So we're going to do a quick tour and take a look at this thing. So as you can see, it's a pretty typical T-Mobile box that we've seen a number of times before with T-Mobile's various smartphones. Opening it up there, we've got the MyTouch slide right there. Let's get this powered on. And then just a quick look at what's in the box. This component here holds all your instruction manuals, documentation, such like that. And then you've got a USB cable and a standard wall charger. Not too much accessories goes. That's pretty basic as far as the accessories are included, but there you go. Taking a look at the hardware on the MyTouch 4G slide, what you can see front and center is we've got a 3.7-inch WVGA screen. It's a 480 pixel by 800 pixel screen and 3.7 inches in size. Then along the bottom you've got 4 hardware buttons for home, menu, back, and then this Genius key, which we'll take a look at a little bit later. That is a special key for the MyTouch series. And then right here you've got an optical touchpad, which you don't see too often on devices anymore. It was very popular about a year or so ago, but it's not too often that you see that. And then up top, you've got a front-facing camera, an earpiece, and some light sensors. Looking at the side of the phone, you can see we've got the volume rocker here, and then the micro USB charging and syncing port. You notice the phone's fairly thin. It's only 13.2 millimeters thick, and that's pretty thin for a phone that includes a hardware keyboard, which we'll see in a minute. Looking at the bottom of the phone, you've got a lanyard loop and then a microphone port there. The other side of the phone, you've got a dual stage camera key with halfway down will autofocus, and then pressing all the way down will take the picture. Nothing else on the side there. And then on the top, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and your power lock switch there. Taking a look at the back of the phone, you can see we've got this the khaki version of the MyTouch 4G slide. It's a very handsome color, as if you ask me. But then you've got your speaker here in the upper corner, little HTC logo there. And then you can see the star of the MyTouch 4G slide. It's this 8 megapixel camera. This is touted by HTC and T-Mobile as being the best camera that's ever been on a smartphone. So we'll be certainly putting that through its paces. But it does autofocus, it's 8 megapixels for stills, and it records 1080p video. And then of course you can see a dual LED flash next to that. Pulling around back up to the front, if we slide open the keyboard, you can see you've got a 4-row keyboard here. It's fairly flat, not too much definition as far as the keys go. So you do have to get used to that for sure. It doesn't have as much of a raised feel to it, but it's not bad. They are individual keys, at least they're separated by the panel here. And then you've got a couple different lights here for indicating your cap status and your alternate key status. In your hand, the MyTouch 4G slide actually feels really nice. It's really well put together. The build construction feels great. It's definitely one of the better built HTC phones that I've handled recently. Certainly it gives you a premium feel to it. It's got a certain amount of heft to it as well. It's about 184 grams or so. So it's not the lightest phone in the market, but it does give it a nice quality feel for sure. If you take a look at the battery that's included with the MyTouch 4G slide, pop open the back cover here. You've got a 1520 milliamp hour battery that T-Mobile and HTC say you should get about 9 hours of talk time with, or about 13 days of standby. Underneath the back cover, you also have your spot for your micro SD card, which it comes with an 8 gigabyte card built in, and then it supports up to 32 gigabyte cards, and then you got your standard SIM card slot there. Now, the MyTouch 4G slide is powered by a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor. It's the same processor that we've seen on the Sensation 4G for T-Mobile and the HTC Evo 3D for Sprint. It's very fast, really no complaints as far as speed goes from this processor, even with the custom interface from custom sense interface and stuff like that. There really is no issues as far as performance goes. Taking a look at the software here on the MyTouch 4G slide, what we've got is we've got a Android 2.3 Gingerbread, with a custom interface on top of it that is very similar to the Sense interface that we've seen on many other HTC phones like the Sensation 4G or the Evo 3D. However, it has been customized, as is the case with most MyTouch or all MyTouch phones that T-Mobile has carried. They've got to carry their own special version of Sense. So it's got a few different things, tweaks about it that are different than what you'd normally see on other HTC phones. Well, for starters, we've got only 5 home screens as opposed to the normal 7 that we usually see on Sense. So you can see we've got 5 there. You can still do that pinch to zoom there to view your home screens in a grid there. That little helicopter view works. And you can see as I turn them, you can see the carousel that we saw on the other Sense phones is there as well. Other things that are different, you've got a different launcher here at the bottom as opposed to the menu key and then having a giant phone button in the middle there and then the personalized key. You've got your phone and then you've got shortcuts to applications and then all the apps, the app tray key is right there. If you notice also the shortcuts that are on the home screen are kind of bubbled with this square background. That's unique to the MyTouch skin as well. And there's some specific widgets here, so you can see these. The power toggle widget is unique, and then if we go over here, T-Mobile has given you a option to set up the accounts on your phone directly from the home screen. So if you don't do it through the initial setting up of the phone, you can access it from this widget here. The notification panel is similar to the other HTC phones. You've got recent applications right in there, and then your notifications, and if you hit this quick settings tab, you can access things like the Wi-Fi radios, the Bluetooth settings, GPS, etc. And you can also monitor the phone's memory. Now, as you can see, the memory here is actually, it's got 768 megabytes of RAM as opposed to some of the other phones that have a gig or more, but that's where it is there. You do have some standard HTC widgets. You can see this the weather widget here that is very popular. And of course it's got the full animations and such. Complete with sounds. If we take a look at the lock screen, the lock screen has the familiar ring that is debuted with Sense 3.0. However, it is missing the shortcuts to open up applications, and it's also missing the live options. So you can't set up the live lock screen with the weather information or stock information or the photos or the other options that we have with standard Sense 3.0. If we open up the app tray here, we can see the applications that T-Mobile has included. The carrier has included a number of apps here on the MyTouch 4G slide out of the box. Right away you've got Adobe Reader there, Bejeweled 2. Then you've got Double Twist Sync already installed, which is a syncing application similar to iTunes, but for Android. FriendStream, which is the HTC application. Highlight is a T-Mobile app to highlight different applications. KidZone is another T-Mobile app. You've got your My Account app, My Device app. The Netflix app is pre-installed, so this is supporting the Netflix application right out of the box. Then you've got Polaris Office for managing documents. There's a setup application. Speed Test is something that I added there. T-Mobile Mall is out of the box there. T-Mobile TV. Quick Video Chat is already pre-installed. And the Zinio Reader down there, which is a magazine type of reader. So there's a ton of applications pre-installed out of the box on the MyTouch 4G. And as you can see, it's got a very similar application tray to the Sense devices with its staged pages here. But something that is unique is you're always able to access your shortcuts at the bottom there. By default, they're set for messages, internet, and contacts. You can, of course, move things out of there if you do want to change it, and you could put three shortcuts to whatever you'd like there. Taking a look at the Genius button down here, and this is in place of where most Android phones have a search key. It's T-Mobile's unique voice search functions. Very similar to the voice search that's already built into Android, but it does have its own little interface. So if you press and hold it, it opens up the Genius interface. And then you can say things like, call Jack Black.
Jack Black.
And it will automatically call someone by your voice. The browser available on the MyTouch 4G slide is the same browser that we've seen on every other Sense 3.0 device. So you've got your browser here that supports pinch to zoom and double tap to zoom. You can see right there. It also supports Flash. However, like every other HTC device that we've seen recently, embedded Flash videos don't play for some reason. You can, of course, view it in landscape as well. And it does support multiple pages, so if you go to the Windows there, you can load up more than one web page and switch between them. There you go. Pretty standard web browser that we've seen on every other HTC device. They usually work pretty well, save for that one Flash issue. If we take a look at the text messaging application, again, it's very similar to all the other Sense 3.0 text messaging applications that we've seen. This gives you a conversation view with the nice stylized indicators for messages right there. If we take a look at the email application, it's the same email application that's on every Sense device, which is usually a good thing. The Sense email application is very good. It's one of the nicer applications that we see on Android devices that's customized from the manufacturer. Supports formatted text, as you can see. You can also pinch to zoom like so. It supports multiple accounts as well, so if you've got multiple accounts set up, you can access all of your messages in the same inbox there. It also lets you process more than one message at a time, so you can check off a bunch of them and delete or file them away into different folders quickly and easily. You can also view your messages in conversation view, which is very cool. And you can set up groups of contacts that you email frequently, so you can easily email a whole bunch of people all at once.